Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Hanamax here with a let's play / read of Wander No More. Just saw this game on Steam, and it's been a very long time since I've done my own voices for my own characters. Aside from what we do with Pablo and stuff, but that's just not the same. I can't really go all out when I have another person in the room, and this will be the perfect game to do. So sadly, I will turn off the voice volume. That's pretty much all I'm doing it. Turn up this text speed, because screw slow text speed. Don't know really anything. I don't know how this will go. It's just a visual novel. There's nothing to it. So I hope you enjoy my stupid reading stuff. Oh, I see how it is. Return. Alright. Basic premise of this game, ancient China, whatever it is, I don't know. Takes place on an alternate Earth, though obviously based off of feudal Japan. Japan. The towns described in Wander No More are completely fictional, as are the characters, events, and so on. Any similarities to real people, places, or events are entirely coincidental. Do not expect historical references or any mention of real wars or events. It's just any game that was made to be enjoyed. I got it. You ready for the sexy voices? When I was a boy, joining the Kotokushi was in my dream. Can I just click? Every day I heard tales of their exploits, whether they were protecting our land, driving away enemy forces, or taking the fight directly to them. They were hailed as an elite military force, devoted to protecting and expanding my kingdom's reach, and always serving their people righteously. Thanks to them, we could live without whatever fear of being conquered. In fact, our territory actually expanded as time went on, all thanks to their tireless efforts and unyielding bravery. Can I hit the space button? Yes, I can. Goodbye, mouse. The Kotokushi were truly our saviors. The most forthright, noble souls in the country, if not the world. Believing that from the bottom of my heart, I trained every day, single-mindedly working towards my goal of joining the Kotokushi. I grew up to be strong, fast, flexible, beyond the reach of any of my peers. As a result, before I even reached adulthood, I was already a top contender to join the Kotokushi, and the day I hit 18, I was welcomed with open arms. It was the happiest moment of my life. A decade of training had paid off, and my dream had been realized. Or so I thought. The village standing before me now, burned to a crisp and devoid of human life, was the work of Kotokushi. It was not an enemy village. There were no combatants to be found here, nor did its inhabitants pose any threat. It was just an ordinary, everyday village, stuck between two opposing kingdoms. And for the Kotokushi, that was reason enough. After joining the Kotokushi, I quickly realized that our work here was neither noble nor righteous. We were not saviors of the people. We were not almighty defenders, protecting innocent civilians from harm. We were a death squad. Every day we'd venture forth, treading just a little bit further away from home, searching for the enemy. An honorable task, to be sure. We would drive away any threats before they could further encroach upon our land, taking the fight away from the innocent passerby. But as soon as I learned, the Kotokushi's definition of an enemy differed vastly from my own. Any village not under our kingdom's direct control, or not paying us a protection fee, would be decimated. Thousands of innocent people, whose only crime was to not grow up under our jurisdiction, were killed in cold blood, never given the chance to surrender. We slaughtered men, women, and children, even newborn babies, all in the name of our Lord, the Emperor. Gosh darn that mean old man. I should have known they would follow me here. Nobody leaves the Kotokushi alive, no matter how high their rank or how long they serve. I don't even know who's talking. Now, because I chose to flee here, those people are all... The fatherless son isn't here either. Are we even going to go the right way? This is Captain Nabatami we're talking about. Oh, I'm probably running away from them. He knows how we operate. He's probably heading in the opposite direction. Darn! I hadn't thought about that. Let's keep moving. Wherever he's headed, Captain Nabatami isn't here. I watched in silence from a nearby forest as the last of the Kotokushi moved on. I had successfully evaded their surveillance and hidden myself by blending in with my surroundings, just as the Kotokushi themselves had taught me. So I waited, patiently biding my time until the last unit left my sight, at which point I could finally relax once more. Those bloodhounds don't give up. It's understandable that they would want to silence me, given what I know, but to chase me this far away from the kingdom, even I won't be able to evade them forever. Though still a light, I returned to my village the Kutakoshi had just passed through. I had been running for weeks, and I desperately needed food and water, much more than I can find while fleeing through the desolate wastelands and forest. Wait, did you burn down this village and then run away? Because if that's the case, then dang, this village burns for a long time. If I hurry, maybe I can find some supplies before they're all burned to ash. I don't care what it is. At this point, plain rice and water would be enough. Actually, I could probably boil water over this flame. With that simple goal in mind, I wandered around the village, quickly checking each building for scraps of food. I put out fires where I could. Yeah, good luck with that, using sheets and other miscellaneous pieces of cloth to deny the oxygen to the flames. But as far as food was concerned, I found nothing. Burnt wood tastes good, apparently. Only bloody corpses and scorched rations remained, leaving me without a single morsel to eat, or you can become a cannibal. Come on, there has to be something edible around here that hasn't been torched. How poor does a village have to be to not have... Assuming this is a female character. As I frantically searched for food, I heard a faint whimper from within one of the houses. I immediately abandoned my search and headed to the next house over, quickly putting out the flames as I listened to the voice I heard moments ago. But even without another sound to go on, there was only one other room in the house, and the moment I opened that door, I saw a woman with her arm missing. A girl.
Mama. Papa.
Within a burning village, one within which no survivor should have remained, was a young girl. A single girl, crying alone in a house's storeroom, surrounded by rations that would have killed for mere minutes ago, or I would have. As my gaze rested on the girl, however, food was the last thing on my mind. All I could see was a young girl, orphaned by an unwarranted, unprovoked attack, for which I was responsible. Okay, here's the thing. You gotta think about this. You burned this village down 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks. You know, you say weeks, it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It is still engulfed in flames. How is this possible? I'm sorry. Amazing. This little girl actually managed to hide herself from the Kutakoshi. I'm the one they were after, of course. Oh, never mind. I gotcha. So they burned this village down because they thought they were protecting my character. Okay, that makes more sense. And they've been pursuing me for weeks now, so it's not unthinkable that a few innocents might escape their grasp. Even so.
Huh?
I opened the storeroom's door wider, revealing my presence to the girl sobbing within. She gazed at me in shock, not expecting to be discovered, and no doubt wondering whether I was friend or foe. And once her eyes made their way back to the katana at my hip, I sliced her head off.
Mama. Papa. Help me.
Once again crying out for her parents, the young girl moved back, trying to put as much distance between us as she could. She pushed it back with her legs, scraping her tattered kuda, on the floor, while tightly holding something in her hand. Even as she almost tipped over, the girl didn't use her hands. She instead grasped tightly at her wrist, refusing to let go. That was when I realized that this girl had lost more than just her family. This poor girl, she can't be any older than 14 years old. Oh wow, she's actually older than I thought she would be. Yet she's already lost not only her family, but also a limb. Even if she survives, life isn't going to be easy for her. Everyone she once knew is now dead, and her village will need repairs impossible for a girl with one hand. Would it be kinder of me to end her misery? I put my hand on the hilt of my katana, which dangled warily from my hip, and as I did so, the girl before me let out an inaudible whimper and froze on the spot. Little girl, what is your name? The girl opened her mouth to speak, but hesitated to actually respond. Her vocal cords, like the rest of her body, froze in my presence, wary that the blade at my hip was not just for show.
Chio. Ahase.
Whatever. Though barely audible, the girl before me answered, her voice wavering as she did. Tell me, Chio, do you want to live? Chio continued to stare at me with fear in her eyes, likely interpreting my question as a threat.
I don't.
I see. I drew my katana from its sheath and pointed its tip towards the girl's throat. I thought my days of killing defenseless children were over. but just this once. I slowly pulled my katana to the side, preparing to cut down the girl before me with a single strike. Man, this game just got completely darker than I thought it would go to. With a simple flick of the wrist, I would behead her, granting instant death to a girl who deserved no further pain. If that is your wish, Chio, then
I don't want to die.
A second before I could swing my blade, Chio shouted out, finally completing her answer. Immobilized by fear, her words reached my ears in fragments, giving the illusion that the girl wished for death. But with strong conviction and unmistakable will to live, Chio's true desire reached my ears at last, and the blade in my hand lost all of his power. What an impressive girl. Even with her entire life going up in flames, she still hasn't lost her will to live. Regardless, she's still just a young girl, and a child with one hand cannot hope to survive out here on her own. If she's going to have any shot at survival, then... All right, Chio. I understand. If you truly wish to live, then as the one responsible for all of this, it is my duty to make sure that happens. I sheathed my blade and reached out at my hand towards the shivering girl. My name is Koichiro Nabatame. I am a traitor on the run from my kingdom. And from this day onward, Chio, you are my daughter. Wow, adoption works easily in this world. 1 year later. Hatsu Village, the same one that burned down, home of the merciful Nabatame family. In the year that passed since its destruction, Hatsu Village has been slowly restored. All by ourselves, Chio and I have worked tirelessly to bring life back to this village, and although we are still a long way from finished, our efforts have not been in vain. The houses I was able to save from the fire have been undergoing steady repairs, mostly at the hands of yours truly, to the point where many of the buildings are habitable once more. Chio, unable to assist with the manual labor, familiarized herself with the neighboring forest, and took on the role of a gatherer, amassing fruit and berries for just the two of us to eat. She showed me where her family used to go for water, a river from within the forest, in which two of us now bathe. Well, that's awkward. Like so, we were able to secure the bare essentials: food, water, and shelter. We developed a routine, divided our duties, and eventually learned to trust one another with our lives. Although I couldn't trust her because she only had one hand. Just like a real family. Sorry.
Oh my, if it isn't Chio-san.
Was that Chan or San? Okay.
Are you done gathering food already?
As I wandered through the village, the mention of a familiar name caught my attention.
Almost. Just one more basket and I'll be done.
You really are a good girl. Koichiro-sama doesn't know how lucky he is to have such a wonderful young girl by his side.
All of a sudden, this town is inhabited. Following Chio's voice, I turned around the corner to find her conversing with an elderly woman, whose name I had not yet learned.
Speak of the devil. Good morning, I mean, Nabatame-sama.
Oh, that is me, the sexy man voice with the longest neck in the world. Please, be at ease. Just call me Koichiro. Yeah, like everyone else does.
I understand, Koichiro-sama. So, are you here to check up on Chio-san, Chan?
Don't be silly. Ku's just looking for work that needs to be done.
You know what? I'm kind of digging this art style. It's actually pretty appealing aesthetic-wise.
Oh, is that so? Well, I don't like your face portrait. I wouldn't be surprised. Koichiro-sama just can't sit still, can he?
Not until this village has been restored to its former glory. Unless you'd like to take over for me, of course. Come on, Grandma, you can do it.
Ha ha ha, careful what you say. I might just take you up on that offer. Of course, you'd have to take over weaving clothing for everyone in my place.
Weaving?
Whatever.
That I would like to see.
I retract my offer. But if you need a loom, I may be able to make you one. There are only minor repairs needed on the houses, so as long as we don't take any new vagrants, I should have enough spare wood.
Oh, Koichiro-sama, that would be wonderful. You have no idea how much time and effort goes into making a single article of clothing.
Is it really that difficult?
My voice is not used to doing this.
I should be done gathering food soon, so if you need help...
No, don't you worry. You don't have to worry about that, Chio-san. My hands may be old and weary, but as long as they still serve a purpose, I'll slaughter all the innocent people. Besides, there's no way I could gather food like you do. Let's each do our part, okay?
Yeah, okay.
On that note, the elderly woman walked away, wearing a troubled smile as she did. Weaving, like so many other tasks undertaken by members of our village, required 2 hands. Knowing this, the woman tried to let Chio down gently, reaffirming her place as a vital gatherer. But for Chio, that was not enough. Even as this town has been taken in migrant after migrant, Chio's sense of responsibility hasn't changed in the slightest. From day one, she's tried to do her best in every aspect, taking on tasks we both knew she couldn't possibly complete. And as the one person here who knows Chio better than anyone else, I know all too well what happens to her when her disability prevents Chio from doing her part. You know, Chio, even if traditional weaving requires 2 hands, the same cannot be said for looms. Would you like me to make a loom for you as well?
Ku, are you saying that I might possibly be able to do weave? Whatever I'm saying right now is not coming out right and correctly. I might possibly be able to do weave after all. Gosh darn it.
I am indeed. Besides, if I'm making one loom, it shouldn't be difficult to make another while I'm at it. What do you say? Do you want to give it a shot?
Absolutely. I definitely want to try it. Kiwichiro, you're the best.
Yeah, I remember I tried to kill you. Now let's go back to work. I'm just about to start on the wooden bowls you've been asking for, so make sure to bring back enough to fill them, okay?
Of course, you can count on me.
Full of spirit once more, Chio dashed off with a skip in her step, eager to complete her morning duties. However, she still could not do a handstand. Whew, that was a close one. What was that old lady thinking? It may not be a rule, but even newcomers should have the sense not to shoot down Chio like that. And of course, the end result is now that I need to make 2 looms, despite the fact that I've never even made one. Honestly, it's times like this when I miss living alone with Chio. Even if it was more work, life was simpler back then. I only had to look out for Chio and our duties were divided evenly, making for a straightforward, routine life. Now this village houses a dozen or so residents, most of them whom I don't even know the names of. Worse, half of them are too young or old to be put at work, so jobs can't be. What is my words coming out to? Without realizing it, I'd become the leader of a budding village of wanderers. A few hours passed by since I spoke to Chio, and true to my promise, I greeted her with a pair of wooden bowls.
Whoa, those are really, well, I appreciate the effort.
You needn't say a word. I can see how terrible they are.
Oh, don't be like that. They're not half bad. They just need a little fixing up, that's all. Preferably by me, because I'm the only one that can do it.
You said it. The sooner we get more able-bodied men around here, the better. As much as I enjoyed the solitary lifestyle Chio and I shared, it didn't take long for the 2 of us to realize we didn't possess the skills necessary to rebuild a village. For obvious reasons, I took on the manual labor, but that didn't change the fact that I lacked any knowledge of woodwork whatsoever. Similarly, that is such a weird word to me for some reason. Chio didn't know how to sew or cook. You must forgive me for my failure of speaking. And many of the things she did know how to do proved too difficult with one hand. We gradually limped along, of course, making concessions along the way. I fumbled my way through the basic repairs, and Chio learned how to work her around her disability. But even then, we were still amateurs. My shoddy repairs would not even last forever, and Chio would often run into tasks she couldn't complete, no matter how hard she tried.
Cheer up. You know I didn't mean it. You're doing your best, just like everyone else here. And that's all anyone can ask of you.
Thank you, Chio. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Now, let's dig in, while the fruit is still fresh.
You know, my character has stayed surprisingly, healthy looking. Whatever. Despite her complaints, Chio filled both bowls with a mixture of berries and fruit from the forest. She then placed a bowl on either side of the table and sat down, gesturing for me to do the same. Fruit and berries, yet again. It's been months since I last ate meat, and that minor luxury was only because Chio found a wounded rabbit while she was gathering food. Forget laborers. What this village really needs is a hunter. Okay, hold on. You just gotta think for a second. I was a trained soldier to kill people. Can I really not kill animals? While secretly pining for the taste of flesh, I unconsciously began to drool.
Hey, I'm glad you were looking forward to this, but if you're that hungry, just dig in.
Following Chio's line of sight, I hastily wiped my mouth and started eating. In reality, eating fruit and berries every day wasn't so bad. There was some variety based on how far into the forest Chio went, and the taste was quite sweet and technically very healthy for you. Furthermore, after working hard all morning, the watery taste was rather refreshing, and even after eating a bowlful, I didn't feel bloated. Nice work, Chio. These taste great.
Ah, I was hoping you liked them. I went deep into the forest for this batch, especially for you.
For me.
That's right. You've been working non-stop lately, so I thought you deserved a little reward.
If you know how hard I've been working, tell all those other slackers to get back to work now. Even children can pick berries, right? And if they took over gathering food, you'd be able to help me out more often.
Cole, don't be like that. Children can discern between edible berries and poisonous ones, and none of them know the layout of the forest like I do. Just leave the food gathering to me, and if you feel like you need a break, then take one. It's not like I can teach these kids what's poisonous and what's not. Totally not.
Having said her piece, Chio herself began to eat the platter she had prepared. She joyfully consumed the mouthful after mouthful, not at all tired of the familiar taste. But rather than join her, I continued to watch Chio, deriving a strange sense of pleasure from watching her elation. It's hard to believe that even now, after living together for a full year, I'm still learning from Chio. Well, I feel like that's the thing. Whatever. Rather than worrying about the division of labor or fretting over what food I eat, I should be content with what I have. After all, if a girl like Chio, whose entire world came crashing down without warning, is still able to smile like that after all she's been through, then maybe one day.
Don't just watch me eat. You need to keep your energy up too, you know? I'm sorry that it's just the same as ever, but you still need to eat.
Noticing that I wasn't eating, Chio softly reprimanded me in her usual kind-hearted manner. Don't apologize, Chio. You've done nothing wrong. I was just happy to see that you're enjoying your food so much.
That's no reason not to eat. You're the village leader, not to mention the only able-bodied man here. If you get sick, everyone will suffer.
Okay, I get it. I'll eat too. You know, at times like this, you sound more like my wife than my daughter.
What? It's nothing like that. I just don't want you to get sick, that's all, Baka. What's wrong with the daughter caring for her father's health?
Calm down, Chio. It was just a joke, Baka. Chio took a deep breath and glared at me, somewhat embarrassed by her own reaction.
Well, it was in poor taste.
Still blushing, Chio looked straight down at her bowl and started to eat once more. Oh, Chio, don't you understand that it's a father's duty to make his daughter feel awkward? Technically no, but whatever. Because even if our age difference makes us more like siblings than a parent and child, by this point you are without a doubt my family.